marka waxaa sharaf weyn inoo ah inaan maanta u dabaaldegayno maalinta caalamiga ah ee adduunka oo dhan laga xusayo oo ah maalinta loo asteeyay in kor loo qaado xuquuqda dadka naafada ah waxaa la yiraahdaa adduunka waxaa ku nool in ka badan 1 bilyan iyo 300 oo milyan oo qof oo naafa ah oo u dhiganta boqolkiiba 16 bulshada kamid ah bulshada caalamka ayaa laga hadlayaa hase yeeshee inagu hadaan nahay dalkeena Soomaaliya oo ognahay xaaladaha uu ku sugan yahay iyo waxaan soo marnay waan ka duwanahay waxaana lagu qiyaasaa dadka naafada ee Soomaaliyeed boqolkiiba 20 bulshada kamid ah marka boqolkiiba 20 bulshada kamid ah runtii waa dad aad u tiro badan hadii population Soomaaliya loo fiiriyo waxa u dhigantaa boqolkiiba waxa u dhigantaa 3 milyan 15 ilaa 17 milyan baa Soomaaliya lagu qiyaasaa marka 3 milyan ilaa 3 milyan bar qof oo naafo oo Soomaaliya dalka ku nool hadii 3 milyan ee qof ee Soomaaliyeed maaragtay kor loo qaado aqoontooda iyo waxbarashadooda iyo heer nololeedkooda iyo shaqadooda hadii kor loo qaado oo meelaha ay danahooda ka gudanayaan la hagaajiyo oo maaragtay meelaha caqabadaha ay kala kulmaan accessibility-ga la hagaajiyo waxay noqon karaan quwad weyn oo bulshada kamid ah ay noqon karaan dhaqaalaha dalka kor u qaadi karaan qof walba intuu isku filaado dadka kale wax tari kara marka sharcigii loogu talagalay in arinta lagu gaarana maanta baarlamaanka hor yaala guddigii xuquuqul insaanka gacanta ku hayba in la jooga guddiga arrimaha bulshada in la jooga wasaaradda haweenka xuquuqul insaanka iyo in la joogta marka waxaa la rabaa kal fadhigan hadda socda in lagu ansixiyo sharciga hadii alla idmo waxaan ka codsanaynaa golaha shacabka in ay ka dhigaan shuruucda ugu horeysa la ansixinayo hadii alla idmo taasaan ka codsanayaa waxaan si gaar ah ugu mahadcelinayaa xubnaha ka yimid gobolada gobolka shanta maamul goboleed iyo gobolka Banaadirba dhamaan daladihii gobolada iyo gobolka Banaadirba waa la joogaa aad baan u wada mahadsantihiin hadda waxaan rabaa inaan u hadlo English baan ku hadlayaa Your Excellencies, honorable ministers, MPs, ambassadors of our friendly countries, representatives of the United Nations and other international organizations, and all distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this important event. It's a great honor for us to convene here today to commemorate the International Day of Persons with Disabilities. The observance of this day aims to raise the awareness and to promote the understanding of disability issues and mobilize support for the dignity, rights, and well-being of persons with disabilities. The theme of the year of 2023 for the International Day of Persons with Disabilities is United and in Action to rescue and achieve the Sustainable Development Goals for, with and by persons with disabilities. According to the WHO, an estimated 1.3 billion people experience some type of disability. This represents 16% of the world's population, or 1 in 6 of us. But due to the decades of conflicts, poverty, and lack of access of healthcare services, we estimate the Somali people with disabilities around 20%. We appreciate the efforts made by the federal government of Somalia to enhance the rights and inclusion of persons with disabilities. And some of the remarkable achievements include the ratification of the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, the formation of the National Disability Agency, which is an independent federal entity on disability affairs, the drafting of the National Disability Act, which is yet to be approved by the Parliament. The Act sets a specific percentage of the persons with disabilities in all aspects of political, employment, humanitarian development, in private sector and government institutions. We ask the Parliament to approve this important bill for advancing the rights of persons with disability. The National Disability Agency has been in operation since 2021. 5 commissioners with disabilities were appointed by the Prime Ministerial Decree in January 2021. The current leadership comprises of chairman, which is male, deputy chair, female, general secretary, female, and 2 members. The National Disability Agency is proud to have made a significant milestone in drafting a 5-year strategy and action plan that will be presented here today. This strategy will guide the inclusion of persons with disabilities, such as to have access to assets, decision-making, information, employment, political participation, and legal rights. This important step has been made possible in partnership with the USAID Inclusive Resiliency in Somalia. NDA's partnership with the USAID IRAS program is aimed at creating equal employment opportunity for people with disability in Somalia. Therefore, a pilot project to improve the skills of young Somalis with disabilities will prepare them for employment is currently being developed. With the support of the USAID IRAS program, the plan is to provide training to 100 persons with disabilities in Mogadishu area in the coming year of 2024, and then to expand the program into other regions where the IRAS program is being implemented, such as Southwest, Hirshabelle, and Jubaland. The success of the initiative will be replicated in other areas with potential to create long-term jobs and self-sufficiency for people with disabilities. Finally, on behalf of the Somali people with disabilities, I wanted to send my sincere gratitude to the senior management of the USAID for the great support and dedication of including marginalized groups into their development and humanitarian interventions in Somalia. So my presentation ends here, but I wanted to add 2 pieces. One piece is the report for the disability survey report, which will play a clip in the screen, and the other one will be a short presentation about the strategy. So now, give me my computer. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mention about Caroline, Dr. Caroline Jogi. Caroline is a professor at the Trinity College in Dublin, Ireland, and Trinity College and the team of Dr. Caroline has volunteered to analyze and prepare the report of the National Disability Survey, so that she's going to explain the methodologies and the procedure that she used and the findings of the survey. So welcome.
Human rights institute. Greetings from Dublin, Ireland. My name is Caroline Jago, and I'm an academic based in Trinity College, the University of Dublin, Ireland. I've had the privilege over the last 2 years of working closely with the National Disability Agency and UN Human Rights and Protection Group on the national project on the perceptions and priorities of persons with disability in Somalia. Mr. Mohammed Jabba, chairperson of the NDA, asked me to record this brief video to talk through the project and the report that was the output of this piece of work. I'm sorry that I can't be with you in person, but I hope that you enjoy the launch, and congratulations again to all involved. I'll begin by talking briefly about the methodology. This was a mixed method study, meaning that it used different types of data, some of which was analysed through statistics, and some of which was analysed through the narratives shared by participants. The NDA recognised the need for a whole-of-country approach, and so the data collection was undertaken by trained enumerators in each of the 5 regional capitals plus Mogadishu. There were a total of 1,653 women and men with disabilities spread relatively evenly across the country who participated in in-person surveys. In addition to the survey data, trained facilitators conducted communities, 3 in each region. A total of 180 persons with disabilities were involved in these group discussions. The data was really of increased quality. In addition, high quality qualitative data was obtained from 30 key informants who ranged from community leaders with disabilities, lawyers, social workers, and religious leaders. I'd like to briefly describe the process of data collection and the way in which we worked alongside the NDA to produce the report. The slide on the screen shows 6 blue circles. The first one at the top has got a single spreadsheet in it, and that represents Kismaya, the pilot region. The data from this pilot was analysed and minor adjustments were then made to the questions. This also informed the design of the qualitative interview or discussion tool, which is represented on the right with speech bubbles. Below the pilot, the slide displays the 5 further blue circles representing each of the other regions for data collection. In each of the circles, there is a spreadsheet and speech bubbles representing that data is collected both through the in-person surveys, through the focus groups, and through key informant interviews in each of these regions. All of the data was then sent to the Trinity research team, and our role really was to undertake the data cleaning, which involves getting the spreadsheets and the transcriptions ready for analysis, and then undertaking the analysis itself. At this point, I must acknowledge my colleague Chad Zink, a research assistant who worked very hard on the data cleaning and supported the quantitative analysis. The qualitative analysis generated a global theme called Dignity Disrespected, which represents a tussle over claiming dignity in the face of experiences of disrespect, discrimination, and denial of opportunity. We've used the metaphor of a 4-stranded rope unraveling at either end to represent this theme. On the screen, I have a picture of a 4-stranded rope unraveling, with one strand unraveling to the left, represented in green, and 3 strands unraveling to the right, represented in orange. The green represents a theme of claiming dignity, pulling against these experiences of disrespect and discrimination. So the first theme, represented by the green strand of the rope, is called, as I mentioned, claiming dignity. This was data where participants were seeking spaces and stories where dignity thrives, telling the stories of their own dignity, their own achievements, and the achievements of the community of persons with disabilities. The first of the orange strands emerging on the right represents theme 2, which is called embedded institutionalized discrimination at all levels. These were experiences where people were counted feeling ignored in policy, in planning, and in programming. Theme 3, represented by the middle strand of the rope, is called being disabled is the only time you had no plan. There was a strong sense from the data that persons with disabilities felt marginalized and felt a hostility from wider society around them. And finally, theme 4, represented by the last of the orange strands, is called the consequences of discrimination are disastrous. Participants spoke about the impact of these experiences of discrimination and marginalization on themselves as people, as individuals, on their families, and also the loss that the community more broadly experiences by marginalizing persons with disability and not benefiting from their abilities and their participation within the community itself. The report itself addresses 12 substantive areas. The theme of claiming dignity in the face of dignity being disrespected runs throughout these areas, And on the screen, I have 12 blue boxes with white text and small white icons representing each of the 12 substantive areas. The report dedicates one page per sector or area explored. And due to time, I'm not going to go into the findings of each of these, but I will mention them so that readers know what to expect within the report. The first issue that is dealt with are people's experiences of discrimination, and these vary quite dramatically depending on the region in which participants lived. The second area addressed is unmet health needs. Again, we see an influence of region. The third area is that of assistive devices. There is some influence here in terms of the type of disability that people reported. So people with communication disabilities, by way of example, reported more difficulty in accessing assistive devices. The fourth area is water, sanitation and hygiene, followed by consideration of food and nutrition and housing. We then address experiences and access to education, which also includes the levels of education attained and the type of educational facilities that people engage with. The next section addresses work and income, followed by experiences of accessing public facilities. Access to humanitarian assistance is addressed next. The final two sections deal with, in each time I'm not going to go into the findings of each of these, but I will mention them so that readers know what to expect within the report. The first issue that is dealt with are people's experiences of discrimination, and these vary quite dramatically depending on the region in which participants lived. The second area addressed is unmet health needs. Again, we see an influence of region. The third area is that of assistive devices. There is some influence here in terms of the type of disability that people reported. So people with communication disabilities, by way of example, reported more difficulty in accessing assistive devices. The fourth area is water, sanitation and hygiene, followed by consideration. Access to humanity, which sum up the need that people reported for being more involved in decision-making processes across all of these sectors, representing feelings of disrespect and dismissal. I have on the top right a quote in an orange speech bubble which reads, "Persons with disabilities are excluded from decision-making because no one advocates for their rights at the level where society is governed." And that was a key informant from Kismai. On the bottom left, I have a quote in a green speech bubble representing the sense of claiming dignity and seeking spaces where dignity thrives. This respondent from Mogadishu says, "Things will improve if people's opinions are heard. If we, as people with disabilities, we need to develop a peer support group or a committee to analyse the needs of persons with disabilities in the district, advocate for their rights and establish a location where we can file a complaint." So in ending on voices of some of the community members, I just want to congratulate the NDA on this piece of work, thank the NDA and the UN Human Rights and Protection Group for the opportunity and the privilege of working alongside you on this report, and wish you all the best in moving forward and with the rest of the launch event. Thank you very much.
About the Developing National Disability Strategy and Action Plan, supported by Inclusive Resiliency in Somalia IRIS program. Okay, see. I see. Okay. The disability assessment commissioned by IRAS program in support to the National Disability Agency in collaboration with Catholic Relief Services, CRS, funded by USAID Somalia. The objective assessment was to develop a 5-year national disability strategic plan for NDA that will provide a comprehensive framework to address the needs and rights of persons with disabilities in the post-conflict context. Information gathering, completed and drafting of recommendations is underway. Imagine recommendations. Enforce policies and acts aligning with CRBD provisions for equal rights. Advocate for millennium standards to gender and disability inclusion in decision making. Improve policy makers' understanding of social protection policies for people with disabilities. Enforce accessibility provisions for all government-funded infrastructure. Ensure focused skills development for people with disabilities, such as bookkeeping, secretariat jobs, and ICT. Develop online dispute resolution to expand access to justice for people with disabilities and increase participation of people with disabilities in political process through awareness campaign. Entrench minimum threshold in the existing laws. Thank you so much.